Boy, we back.
Oh, yeah.
How's it feel to be back to talk about football every week?
It feels great.
Yeah, man.
I talk about football every week anyway, but my son is the only one who still listens to me. So, like, during the offseason, like a lot of people, my Saga and Joanna kind of sort of tune out.
Yeah.
Although, when Saga still follows, like, Bengals Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So she sends me like funny clips when she finds something. She sent me a TikTok yesterday of Zach Taylor. It was like one of those super cuts where it was like 50 different cuts of Zach Taylor telling his players to drink water. Drink water. Drink. Anyone need a drink? Get a drink. Get a drink. Hey, don't forget to get a drink. Get a drink. Drink some water. Drink some water.
That's real coaching right there. It's a real coach, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so, 4th of July. We celebrated 4th of July on August 13th.
Yes, makes sense.
On Sunday.
Yeah, we're finally everybody back. Yeah, it was great.
That was pretty dope, yeah?
It's one of my favorite things of the year to do, man. It was like a foregone conclusion that it was going to go down.
Who did you used to do this with before you met
I didn't.
me?
I would every now and then I would have my own.
Okay.
And just invite my Swedish friends over. And then I would do all of the 4th of July-ish stuff.
Right.
Me and Sandra. And then that was it.
Because for us, it was because when I met my wife in New York, she already had a bunch of Swedish friends in her circle there.
Yep. My wife did that too.
So most of the people that we do we celebrate 4th of July and we celebrate Thanksgiving here in Sweden. And most of those people that are in that group are people that we knew when we lived in New York City.
Oh yeah, they did the hunter gathering that the Swedish women do.
Yes,
they leave Sweden, they go hunt, and then they gather, and then they bring back the immigrants.
And it's all Swedish women. Like we don't have a single it's a Swedish dude who brought an American woman.
No.
We don't. I know they exist.
Yeah,
but they're like unicorns.
Yeah. And then they're probably
rare.
they probably aren't that as connected to interested in connecting to American culture.
Right.
So
you're trying to say that American women are not as patriotic?
Yep. Except for Liz Cheney. Except for Liz Cheney.
R.I.P. Liz Cheney. No, I have a feeling she's going to be. I have a feeling she's going to be more dangerous out of office than in it.
Yeah, man.
So I'm down with Liz. Let's go, Liz.
Yeah, I'm down with Liz. In some respects.
Sure. Yeah.
I hope she runs for president.
That would be hilarious. Oh my God! I didn't even think about that.
For those of you not interested in American politics, there's this woman that's going. This is a Republican that is the biggest figurehead in going after Trump.
You just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like
if she runs independently, running for president, it would just wreck the Republican Party.
You just absolutely fucking blew my mind. I did not even consider that as a possibility.
Yeah, man.
Fuck, bro, that's so dope. I want that to happen. Anyway, 4th of July was awesome. We had a lot of great people, kids. We fucking we grilled some shit. We ate some shit.
Yes. Good food all around. Good sauces. Good dips. All of that. It was great.
Shout out to Clokey who
shout out to Clokey
who offered his place. Row House out in
Bagarmossen.
Yeah. I don't really. That's people tell me that neighborhood is cool, but I don't really hang out there. So
yeah, man, it's nice. It was a really good time, man. And every time I'm like, man, we should do stuff like this more often. But it's hard. I'll be there for Thanksgiving this year.
I think I'm okay with twice a year. It's fine. I mean, the people who are part of that circle who I happen to bump into on a slightly more regular basis, I'm fine with.
Oh, okay.
But the rest of them, I'm like, I mean, I like them. They're great, but it's like, you know how it is when you get, as you get older and you got kids, and it's like your circle starts to shrink.
Yeah.
The amount of time you have to spend free time with people starts to shrink, and you got to pick your spots, bro. You know
That's
what I mean?
true. That's my problem. I'm just always.
You got to pick your spots.
Bringing them in. Yeah, I like that.
I mean, I'm almost 50, so when you get to be my age, you're going to be like, old man shaking your fist at the clouds, like, get away from me! I don't have time for this shit.
Get off my lawn! Get off my lawn!
I'm watching preseason football. Leave me alone. Did you watch? Did you watch any of the games?
I've been watching. I think I saw everyone.
I saw
at least the clips from everyone. I watched like a condensed as much as I can. Sometimes when the backups come in, I can't do it, man. I don't care about your third string on
Did you see my
Minnesota.
Falcons get that dub?
Yeah, saw the Falcons got that
Mariota looking good, flying Hawaiian, going for the pylon.
I saw that.
I was like, why are you doing that in a preseason game? Like,
hey, he doesn't know any other way.
That's the problem with him, though.
Yeah.
That's how he gets injured.
He's going to lead y'all to the promised land.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's kind of, I was glad that they won, but it's a little, how excited can you get beating the Lions 2s and 3s on basically the last play of the game? It took you.
It's still your 2s and 3s as well, though.
True, and I do think, despite the fact that, I thought it was nice to get a good look at Desmond Ridder. He looks like a real quarterback. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's got your typical rookie accuracy issues, but for the most part, he looked pretty fucking good. He didn't look that bad.
See the Dolphins back up?
I don't think I must have because I watched it.
This is Skylar Thompson is this guy.
Right. Tell me.
Yeah, he came out slinging that thing. And everybody's talking about him. Yeah, here we go.
I feel like
poor Tua, man.
It's funny.
He deserves a better
Tua's a weird one for me because, I don't know why, as a Georgia Bulldog fan, I have no reason. I should be rooting for Tua's life to be as horrible as possible, considering what he did to me at 4 o'clock in the morning, 2018.
Yes.
But for some reason, he seemed, you know what it is? You know what he gets me with? It's his smile.
Yeah,
it's his smile and his boyhood, what's the word I'm looking for? You can tell he loves the game.
Yeah.
You know what actually is, and this, as cheesy as this sounds, and it blew up as a big thing, but that time that when he played his first game, and then when the game was over, someone took a picture of him sitting on the 50-yard line when the stadium was empty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To me, I felt like I understood that moment. Mm-hmm. So, the fact that he's not taking it for granted, I guess maybe is the essence of that moment.
Yeah.
But the fact that he, who does that? How many people do you really think would decide to, you know what? Once everybody's gone, I'm going to go back out and sit on the 50-yard line and just fucking pinch myself. How cool
happens
is this?
I can really relate as a comedian because sometimes I'm standing in the room and nobody bought tickets.
Right.
And I'm just by myself.
And you're like, God, how lucky am I?
Well, somebody take a picture
have this
of me.
place to myself.
Somebody take a picture of me sitting in the middle of the audience where nobody has been all night. Sitting at the front of the stage.
Yeah.
No laugh, just silence.
I've had that experience lately too, as a TV creator type person, where you show up to a Zoom meeting and nobody shows up. You're like, how lucky am I?
How lucky am I?
You know what? I think I'm just gonna do this pitch to myself.
I'll take a screenshot of this.
I'm gonna do the pitch to myself, and I'm gonna greenlight my own project. This is gonna be great. Let's go.
Arguing with yourself about the budget.
Exactly. It should be more. No, it should be less. I want Angelina Jolie to play the lead.
In my documentary.
In my documentary about me. I want her to say nice things about me in my documentary about me, despite the fact we've never met before. We'll give her a script. It's fine. Right. Where do we start? We start with breaking news.
We need one of those. Yeah.
News coming out of Seattle, where the league's hottest, most intriguing, and fierce quarterback battle,
Drew Lock,
is raging. Okay? That quarterback battle has just produced a legitimate plot twist.
Okay.
Drew Lock has tested positive for COVID.
Oh, again? Didn't he ruin the whole locker room last year?
Damn you, COVID. COVID wins again.
COVID is undefeated.
COVID just does not want us to have Drew Lock.
We don't want it either.
What does COVID have against Drew Lock?
In COVID's defense, none of us want Drew Lock.
No,
I don't know, something about his face. I'm just not a fan.
Right. Well, for me, it's about the way he plays quarterback, but sure.
It's the combination.
If you want to get all up in his face.
If you play quarterback like that.
And look like that.
Yeah, have a Tua smile.
Then someone should punch you in your ugly
Somebody
face.
punch you in the face.
We have a lot. I have a lot of interesting takes on the Seahawks. This has to be the weirdest quarterback battle of all time. The fact that Pete Carroll is walking around like no, it's all good. It's gonna be cool. Yeah, Geno,
delusional.
Geno, lock. How could we go wrong? I feel bad for Seahawks fans.
Who's their third stringer?
That's a good question. I found a site called ourlads.com, like where you can check all the rosters.
Okay.
They got
Jacob Eason.
Oh, snap. Did he play there last year? Or did he pop? He popped up somewhere last year.
I want to say Colts, but I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong.
He did. You're right, actually. It says right next to his name, IND, Indiana.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm proud of myself for that one. Mm-hmm. That one, I pulled that one out.
Jacob Eason.
Yeah.
He came in for Carson Wentz a couple of times.
Speaking of MVP candidates. That
was a great transition. That was really good. Respect.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be either Locke or Smith. Smith did enough last year to make people think that he could be the thing, and then he did enough to remind people of who he is he got the start.
He just needs to make sure he doesn't get any more DUIs. Remember that story over the summer?
Oh, shoot.
He got a DUI, and he was so drunk, and he got pissed off because the cops weren't willing to let him go, and so he started referring to the small nature of their penises.
Yes.
Remember that story?
I forgot that was him. Yes, I remember that story.
So that could be problematic. Keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
I'm sure TMZ will let us know if that happens again. Yeah, the Jets. I mean, I have a few stories that I just thought were interesting from week one preseason. I mean, they went into the week already kind of reeling from the loss of season-ending knee injury to their key offensive lineman, Mekhi Becton. And then they got a new scare with Zach Wilson, who was forced to leave their first preseason game with a knee injury.
No contact.
Exactly. And
that's when it's the scariest.
Exactly. And as if throwing a ghastly interception on his third attempt of the game wasn't enough. I mean, he basically...
I loved it as a Dolphins fan.
It was great. He basically was just like...
This is me.
Here, would you like to have this?
Buzzer, man.
Catch it. He threw it right to the... Was it the line? I think he threw it to the linebacker.
The linebacker buzzed, man. It's hard to see that. He's looking deep, and then the guy does the comeback. He threw it late anyway, and then the guy just picked it off and... I almost took it to the house, right?
A little bit of a tip for Zach Milson over there. The guy who's wearing the different colored jersey, that's how you can tell. That's when you're reading a defense, you don't want to read. You want to read the guys who don't look like your guys. So there's that.
But they are who we thought they were.
Or are they?
Did you ever think he was the real deal? I never was buying stock in this guy.
Look,
and I could be proven wrong, and I could be a hater as a division rival fan, but I never was buying it.
I watch a lot of college football, and for me, and I'm not saying look, great NFL quarterbacks can come from weird, slightly obscure colleges for sure. It happens.
Yeah.
But BYU, you're gonna have to prove that to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because the problem with the way that talent gets assessed coming out of college into the NFL is that the level of competition on the college level is so whack in a lot of cases, and that's true for the big teams as well. I mean, Alabama and Georgia
play 4 tough games.
Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State, which are thought of easily as the top 3 teams in the nation, they might play 2 difficult games a year.
Right.
A Georgia quarterback. I don't remember the last. Matthew Stafford is currently the only modern day Georgia quarterback to have been successful, right? And it took him being traded to a good team for that to be the case. I think the last good Georgia quarterback we had in the NFL was Fran Tarkington, who played for the Vikings back in the 70s.
Yeah, because you can't go by school like that, assuming because they went to a big school that they're going to be good.
So it's hard. You never know.
And he went to BYU, and it's not even a big. It's not a.
I don't even know who they.
Plus, don't they do that mission? Did he do the missionary thing they're supposed to do?
Oh, I think he likes it doggy style. At least that's what
the missionary position.
That's what his new girlfriend said.
Oof.
That's what she said.
Well, yeah, I never was buying, so he threw that pick, and I was like, on brand. Him getting hurt, I don't like to see that. Thankfully,
also, the way he got hurt felt really dumb to me. On a few, you're in a preseason game. Mm-hmm. First problem, you held on to the ball too long. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Nobody's open.
You don't want to throw 2 picks in a preseason game.
Exactly. And that he already threw one, so he was scared he was going to throw another one.
Yeah.
So he takes off running, and in a preseason game where it's like he was off to the side of the field where it's like the smart play would be like, fuck it, I'll just run out of bounds. Yeah. But he's like, no, man, I'm Michael Vick or whatever. And he cuts, and as soon as he cut, his knee just... So anyway, he flew out to LA to have some kind of a knee procedure. Yeah. At first they were saying 2 to 4 weeks. I literally woke up this morning and saw 2 completely contradictory headlines. One was like, Zach Wilson has successful knee surgery, could be back for week 1. Yeah, and then the other one was like, Zach Wilson week 1 in doubt. So it's
he might die.
I have no fucking clue.
Whenever he comes back.
Does it matter?
No. Who's back up over there? Is it our man?
I know who it is.
Is it Mike White?
Nope.
Mike White's gone?
Number 2. No, Mike White is still there, but Mike White is now number 3 on the depth chart. Joe Flacco is number 2. So Joe Flacco, yeah. Mike White.
I thought Flacco retired.
Joe Flacco, Mike White, and God forbid, Chris Streveler. Streveler.
Good old Streveler.
He played last year too for a bit. I don't remember. Yeah.
So I remember Flacco gave us a scare last year. Mm-hmm. All right, what else going on?
Good news for you Saints fans. Alvin Kamara is likely available to start the 2022 season. Also, good news for you fantasy people out there. If you want, you want you some Alvin Kamara,
I would say stay away. It's my advice.
Sure, fade the Cam Dog. You're gonna fade him. Cam Dog. I'm sure he has another nickname. So there was a rumor that there was a 6-game suspension coming down the pike for him. This was he got into a fist fight the night before the Pro Bowl, and for some weird reason they let him play in the Pro Bowl, and then the cops just waited outside the stadium to arrest him when he was done taking a shower. I was just like, what the fuck?
Wow. Did he beat up 27 people, or are 27 people saying that he beat them up?
No, just a couple.
Just a couple.
It was him and one other dude.
So
anyway,
he like one game.
Oh well, what's going to happen is essentially what happened is that his court date got moved to like late September, and the NFL, in cases like this, which is probably pretty smart, you want to wait to see like what comes of that before you decide what the suspension will be. So it seems as though it's more likely for him. The reports are saying that if he is going to get a suspension, it's more likely to be in 2023 than it is to be this year.
Okay.
So.
Oh, good. Well, go ahead, pick them up, y'all. Mm-hmm. Speaking of fantasy, we got the fantasy league on. We have enough people interested to have a relegation league.
We do.
Yes. So we're gonna have a 12-man league, 12-team league,
right?
And then an 8-team.
Women are also welcome. Yeah. Nice. I like to see what you did there.
Yeah. And then an 8-team relegation league.
Cool.
So the teams that make the playoffs after this season in the relegation league bump up into the Big Dog League,
right?
And the teams that come in the bottom in the relegation in the Big Dog League drop to relegation, and the last team in relegation gets your name changed. And the winner of the Big Dog League gets 2,000 crowns. There's one slot available right now.
For what? For the relegation league?
For the leagues.
Oh, okay.
So there's one slot available right now.
Oh, I saw that because I went to the website last night and I saw that I was like, it showed my team had a bye in week 1. I was like, what? I don't have a bye in week 1.
So it's probably gonna be filled by the time this comes out, or I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
But talk to the commissioner about it. Champ. We're still waiting on one team. I don't remember the team name from last season to confirm that he's playing again. If he's not going to play, then we got an opening.
Okay.
So hopefully by next season we'll have enough for a couple more leagues. We'll just build up this SveNFL fantasy football. Is going to be the best in the world.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. Back to preseason. Jordan Love, in my opinion, gets the on-field trash award of the week. He did throw 2 touchdown passes against the 49ers, but he also threw 3 motherfucking picks.
Man, why do I root for this guy? I really have a soft spot in my heart for him. Maybe because of the situation. He didn't ask to be picked so high and to be such a bad pick. You know what I mean? I have no ill will towards him in particular.
I
root for him for that reason.
I just feel like the debate of whether the Packers fucked up taking this kid in the first round a few years ago, I feel like that debate is over.
No, it's over.
I mean, the answer is yes. Like, hell yes.
You done fucked up, Thompson.
Exactly. I just feel like, what were you thinking? Like, really? Did you really think? You know what I think it was? I think it was hubris.
Yeah.
I think they thought, you know what? This is who you get tricked up either.
Nobody's bigger than a team.
Well, you stumble up in your own legacy sometimes, I think, where you think like you start believing the story that you tell yourself about who you are, right? And the Packers have been fortunate enough to have 2 like Hall of Fame franchise level quarterbacks who just slotted in one right after the other. How many teams can say that?
Not many.
And so you went out and found this kid who, no offense to him, is literally from the middle of nowhere as far as like a pick is concerned.
Yeah.
And you thought, this guy's your next Aaron Rodgers? Come on.
And they did it so high too, like.
And it was like such a
and they were
diss.
trying to make a run. They're trying to make a run that next year to try to make it to the Super Bowl.
Your window is open.
Yeah, the window's wide open, man. Get a quarterback later. Get a project. You picked the project early. Why not pick a project later?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Love would have been around a little later.
True. Trey Lance, on the other hand. He didn't throw a lot of passes, but he did throw one that was a beautiful, like, moonshot, 76-yard TD pass to this really fun look. One of the new 49ers receiver, this guy Danny Gray, he looks fun too. I liked him. He looked really good.
He was balling.
Speedster.
Yeah.
Flying.
Niners look like they might be a problem.
You know, I had my expectations for the Niners were quite low until a few weeks ago. I don't know. I just feel like the more I started to actually kind of dive in and look at what's happening, I'm like, hold on a second. They might be pretty good, actually.
And they're running that ball very well. They got the injury bug last year.
Yeah, sure.
Watch out.
Buccaneers signed Carl Nassib to a 1-year prove-it deal.
Nassib, really?
Yep.
Gay guy.
The first openly gay
Good.
Active NFL player.
Whoa, that's personal.
I didn't mean active in the sense, because I think there was another guy. Wasn't there like a kicker?
He's gay abstinent.
Wasn't there there was a kicker for the Minnesota Vikings who was also gay, but he didn't come out until after he retired.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is it the guy who missed that kick?
That's a good question. That's
Anderson,
a good question.
Right?
I don't think it was him, but that's a great question.
No wonder we didn't go to the Super Bowl. Put our trust in a homosexual.
Homosexuals can't kick field goals.
How he gonna get it in there?
He used to play for the Bucs, apparently. Carl Nassib, 2018.
Really? So he's back, huh?
He's back.
They might, man. How are they doing this? The Bucs are like the Rams of the East Coast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
Where they just spending money, man. Worry about it later. But it makes sense, man. You never know when Brady's gonna retire, so go all in while you got him.
Sure. Yeah. Unfortunate story. Brother of Aqib Talib allegedly shot and killed a man at a youth football game over the weekend.
Yeah, man.
Aqib Talib was reportedly close to the gunman at the time when the incident happened.
You said Talib was close to him when it happened?
Well, like
in vicinity, like
geographically.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously close to him. It's his brother.
Yeah.
There's a video. It's on TMZ if anybody's interested.
They don't show the actions for those
they
that do.
They pause it right before you hear the sound of the gun, but they pause the actual.
I don't think the video had caught it.
Sorry, what?
I don't think the video caught because I think the guy starts running who has the camera.
Well, the video that I saw, so what happens is that the sound keeps rolling, but they pause the image.
Okay, wow.
There
before
must be
another angle.
There's another. Yeah, there's 2 angles actually.
I saw the one with the guy yelling at the ref.
Right. There's a different one.
Okay.
There's another one that's much more stable, and you can see it. Like he pulls out the gun, and thankfully, I think obviously they did this because you don't want to see that, and they pause the video, but the sound keeps rolling. But it's
what the fuck? A children's game. Now all of these kids.
Yeah.
People need to get over their fucking egos, man.
Yeah, dude.
I thought about that while I was in the States, and I'm driving around Florida, and it was like I heard stories of road rage, and people like shooting each other because it's like the Wild Wild West a little bit in some places, and I was like, get over, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll get there later.
Right.
Take it. I'm the coolest, and I'm notorious with my road rage, getting mad at people and shit.
Right.
Not anymore because people are out of hand, man.
Yeah,
it's insane that small stuff is making people feel like they can end somebody's life, man. It's a kids for not even thinking about the children there.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I see my coach get killed, I'm done for a while, man. I need some intense therapy.
That's some crazy shit. Like I can't. Yeah, it's crazy to think that anybody would do that, and I really hate for Aqib Talib, who's definitely one of my favorite dudes.
This dude's on the up and coming, man.
In the booth,
changing the game.
It's like, what do you?
He's changing the game, and then his brother does this, and they're throwing his name around as if he did it. Like, who knows? That might be an estranged brother. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's already released a statement, or his lawyer has released a statement saying, unfortunately, Aqib was there. He didn't have participate or do anything. But it's like, I just hope it doesn't fuck with his career. I
do too, man. Because it's sometimes it takes just a little bit for people to turn their backs on somebody like Aqib Talib, who had a reputation as kind of a jerk in the league. Right. Remember snatching chains and shit like that. I always liked him because of stuff like that. But he was like a bully. He was kind of a bully when he was in the league. And I really I love the way he announces, and people need to separate the two, man. He didn't do it. Hopefully he didn't have anything to do with it either. Or maybe he tried to talk sense to his brother. I don't know. Maybe his brother had a psychosis. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Back to preseason football. Deshaun Watson publicly apologizes to the woman or women he has impacted.
Did he apologize 27 times?
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Just the once.
I'm sorry.
He did an interview before the preseason game. He said, "Look, I want to say that I'm truly sorry to all of the women that I have impacted in this situation. The decisions that I have made in my life that put me in this position, I would definitely like to have back. But I want to continue to move forward and grow and learn and show that I'm a true person of character, and I'm going to keep pushing forward."
Could have kept that part.
He did not really. Yeah.
I'm sure legally he can't say certain things.
Had to say, sure.
He can't say certain things, but it's still, to me, the thing that I've honestly been the most concerned about was him really acting like he didn't understand that what the all of the nuances behind this stuff. You know what I mean? The power dynamic and all of this. It seemed like he was refusing to acknowledge any wrongdoing at all, and this makes me think that he's actually reflected on it and. Hopefully it's over.
I don't think he's reflected on shit. I think that I think that the past week, the primary criticism that has kind of emerged out of the report that led to the 6-game suspension. You know, one of the reasons why the woman who wrote this report, the judge who wrote this report and looked at this case, she said that the reason why she suggested 6 games, which in her opinion was more than what the NFL had done in the past, right?
Yeah, this
was because Deshaun Watson, to this point, has shown no remorse whatsoever.
Okay.
And I think, to me, that this is just his way of showing
some remorse.
So I don't believe he's reflected on a goddamn thing.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
I think he went out. He used the NFL media as an opportunity to sort of pretend like he's going to show some remorse. And then he went out to play 3 series, completing 1 pass for 7 yards. And people may say, oh, man, you're rooting for this dude to fail, to which I would say, you're goddamn right I am.
I want him out of the league.
Because it fucking pisses me off.
Yeah.
That if he eventually comes out and plays good football, that's how the world forgets about what he did. If he's good.
I don't think the world now forgets about what he did. I don't think they'll let him.
We're talking about football.
I know.
I mean, I'm sure that, but I'm saying it's a long game. If you have a long career, if this guy plays until he's like 32, 33, 35,
38 nowadays, yeah.
If he plays that long, it'll be paragraph 2.
Yeah.
When he retires.
And you want him to be paragraph 1.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying, and you might be right, but we were calling Ben Roethlisberger Rapelessberger until he retired.
But that's us. We're 2 idiots sitting in a basement in Sweden. Nobody else fucking did that. As long as
more people did it. Like, I read some pieces about Ben when they're like, let's not forget. There's a lot of reminder stuff out there that wouldn't have been there 20 years ago.
There's only one surefire way that what he did will remain squarely in his narrative, and that's if he plays like shit. Okay, that's it. Okay, that pass, that one that he threw, that one pass where it was like, did he overthrow that one guy or did he underthrow the other guy? In my opinion, he threw that pass right to the 24 women that he assaulted. The more passes like that he throws, that's how we're going to keep remembering. The average person, I'm saying. You and I are not going to forget.
No. I'm not going to forget. But I think ultimately what I want is that he's not hurting any people anymore.
Sure, yeah.
And I feel like that's going to end. And I wish that he could be held more accountable.
Right.
But the way that he doesn't hurt people anymore is realizing his wrongdoing.
Right.
And it feels like, at the very least, even if he doesn't deal with what's probably an addiction or some type of mental issue, that he won't do it so he doesn't get in trouble again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's probably the...
And maybe it's his kryptonite.
Yeah.
So because he can't be a predator anymore, it's going to make him a worse football player. And it all works out.
That would be so great. Also, shout out to the Jags fans.
He's going to be like in the locker room with a really small towel on. Like, I need this, do this part at least, guys.
Exactly. Shout out to the Jags fans who this Browns game, it was in Jacksonville. So shout out to the Jags fans who, deep in the end zone, when Watson came out onto the field, they started chanting, "You sick fuck! You sick fuck! You sick fuck!"
What did he do? Just ignored it?
He just, he ignored it. But here's hoping that becomes a trend everywhere the Browns go.
Yeah,
if they have managed to set a trend that when he does play,
he gets to use sick fuck.
That's a beautiful thing. And we should all remember that the Jags are the ones who started that shit.
Yes.
So
shout out to the Jags.
Shout out.
Trevor Lawrence, what'd you think?
I thought he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought he looked pretty good. I actually think the Jags kind of have a chance to be a pretty good team this year.
Can't get worse than
Urban's gone. There's nowhere to go but up. I
love seeing Urban Meyer look worse and worse.
I thought he looked pretty good. If there's any criticism of the Jags, it's that they had to overpay for free agents like Christian Kirk and stuff like that.
They had the money,
but they're paying the Jaguars tax. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to go there, so it's like there's teams like that.
Jaguars tax, I like that.
There's a lot of different teams in different leagues where you have to pay more to get good players because you're a weird place. Jacksonville's a weird place, so it just is. Speaking of weird, Aaron Rodgers.
Shout out.
Aaron Rodgers did an interview where he said that the use of the psychedelic drug ayahuasca helped him earn his back-to-back MVPs.
Aaron Rodgers with the hot take on the psychedelics.
Reached for comment later. The NFL does not think that Rodgers violated their performance-enhancing substance policy, to which I kind of wonder, well, I mean, if that's what won him the MVP, then how is that not a performance-enhancing substance violation?
But maybe he's
Maybe the NFL has never done psychedelics.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem.
And then they'd be like, no, this isn't why. Sorry, Aaron.
He made some kind of crazy he basically I'm starting to fall in love with Aaron Rodgers again, just as a person, because he's so fascinating.
Yeah, he's very fascinating.
And also he can get a little hippy dippy, but he goes deep sometimes, and
he's hippy dippy. He's like he's fringe left and fringe right,
which is you got to take it. It's kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
I thought he did another interview. Did we talk about this? He was on Barstool Sports, which a lot of people don't like.
Yeah.
And he was doing this interview. I forget who it was, and these guys were, they were telling jokes and goofing around, and then one of the guys was like, "Hey, so about the vaccine thing, like, because you decided not to get the vaccine, like, how many people do you think you killed?"
Oh shit!
Like, he said it as a joke. Like how many grandmas do you think you killed because of the vaccine? Like, he was clearly trying to get Rodgers to kind of jump into this joke, and Rodgers was like, "Actually, I understand why you're asking what you're trying to do by asking that question, but I actually don't think it's that funny."
Oh shit!
Like, I don't think that's funny.
Shut down the dude bro shit.
He was like, I made a choice based on my own body and my decisions and that kind of thing. I'm not. I don't think that's very funny.
What if it said and also 7?
Yeah, I personally choked 7 out with a pillow.
That had nothing to do with COVID.
But I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Be you. But anyway, I love that this ayahuasca thing. He described it as like having 100 hands on his shoulder, like transferring love.
Was this a massage
to him? Yeah, Deshaun Watson was like,
what?
"Hey, whoa!" Deshaun Watson like, "Whoa, what? I who?
I wanna go there.
I want to Waska that shit for sure. 100 hands at once." Why you bogarting the ayahuasca, Rodgers?
You told me, man. Aaron.
Pass the cup, son.
Hey, Ron.
I didn't even think of it that way. That's hilarious.
100 hands. Huh? I want to try that, though, by the way.
I would love to try ayahuasca, but I would need to... so I've done psychedelic drugs in my life.
Me too.
And I have done them enough to know that I need to either be completely alone or I need to be in the company of someone that I trust.
Of course.
Not even someone that I trust, but it's really more that I need to be in the company of someone that I can trust will be able to handle their shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I trust my wife more than I trust anyone.
Right.
But I would never do mushrooms with her. Ever. Not in a million years.
Shout out to Joanne.
Because as much as I love her, she has a control thing. Mm-hmm. And I've been in her I got her stoned for the first, I got her high just on weed for the first time she ever really smoked weed was in New York. And it doesn't sit well with her. Because she likes to be in control. She's not a control freak, but I'm just saying she likes to be
Swedish.
She's Swedish. Yeah. I didn't want to say it, but that's the easiest way to say it.
Yeah.
She's Swedish. And the idea that you would take something that would allow you to just be like, you know what?
It's too much passive.
Nothing really matters
need some
right
aggressive.
now. Yeah. Nothing matters. There are no obstacles in my way because nothing is real. It's all made up and it's all a simulation. It's all good. She can't get down with that.
No,
that's too fucked up for her.
Yeah.
Anyway. Wow, we're going to some weird places today.
Yeah, man, I like it.
Speaking of the weird,
Aaron Rodgers again?
No, this one's about Roquan Smith. Did you see this story? Someone purporting to represent Roquan Smith is calling teams around the league to gauge trade interest. So we talked about this last week. Roquan Smith has requested a trade from the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Some person...
He was at their game, too.
Right.
Showing solidarity.
Some person who is purporting to represent Roquan Smith is calling the other 31 teams trying to see if there's any interest in a trade.
It's Roquan.
Now, the problem is...
It's like Trump calling people pretending to be it. You know he's got that alter ego? Have you heard about that?
Yes! Shit, I didn't even... If that is what it is, oh my God. I mean... If that is what... Okay, so what makes this story weird, besides what Jonathan just presented...
John Barron. That's Trump's...
Right, exactly. Trump was calling he called Forbes. Trump was calling Forbes to inquire why Donald Trump... He was pretending to be who?
John Barron. He's got John Barron, John Miller, and David Dennison.
Right. They called Trump himself, pretending to be one of these dumbasses, called Forbes because they released that richest 100 list or whatever, and he wanted to know why he wasn't higher up the list or something. And he was like basically saying like, he's worth this and he has that and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, like, if that's what's happening here. Okay, so what makes this story weird is that Roquan Smith is still under contract, so only the Bears are authorized to seek a trade partner, right? So technically that would be tampering.
Oh, shit.
So Stephen Ross.
Shut up.
And B, Roquan Smith, he ain't got no agent. Dude represents himself. So who the fuck is making this phone call? And does he know what's going on? Did he call a buddy? Is it him pretending to be somebody else?
It's him.
Could it possibly be,
Donald Trump?
Could it be Donald Trump? I mean...
Oh, man.
This is a interesting story about my man, former Bulldog Roquan Smith, and I, for one, really hope that this mystery continues to produce fruit. Because that's fucking weird. Notable injuries for you fantasy heads out there. Elijah Mitchell, already coming off knee surgery, is expected to miss preseason with a hamstring injury. A man, Drake London, Falcons rookie wideout, left his first preseason game with a knee injury, but it sounds like it's not that bad.
Oh, good.
So
I don't want that for anybody, man.
Sounds like it's not that bad. Rams, Cam Akers, and Darrell Henderson. Both
Super Bowl hangover?
Both have a Super Bowl hangover, battling injuries. Could miss significant practice time before the season, so might want to watch out for those guys.
That's a big one there, Cam Akers.
I'm sure there's a few other injuries, but there weren't really as many injuries in week one. Normally expect when the tackling starts. Not notable ones.
That's
Zach
good.
Wilson we already
Zach
talked
Wilson,
about. Let's see. The Bears turf. Did you hear about that?
No.
Their field looks like shit. It's like August, and their field looks like. I was like, what?
Was anybody playing there, or are they just not keeping it up well?
You know what? They must be playing soccer there or something.
Okay, maybe.
Must be. The Lamar Jackson situation continues to be kind of interesting. He implies that he'll cut off extension negotiations with the Ravens once the regular season starts.
That makes sense. So we can focus.
I think that guys like Lamar get a fair amount of flack because he's also his own agent. But I would predict that he's going to look pretty smart by the time this is all said and done.
Definitely.
Unless he gets injured, of course. But even if he gets injured, look at what happened to Dak Prescott. Contract year. Yeah. Breaks his leg in half.
Yeah.
Comes back the next year, and he gets his fucking money. This guy also, is too good not to get his money.
What's his name? Cam Chancellor? What was his name for the Seahawks? They kept doing him like that, and then he hurt himself, and he never got his...
But the problem is that
quarterback, though.
Look at the Ravens. What are your options?
Huntley? He's not much of a drop-off.
I don't know about...
I mean,
from Lamar Jackson?
Okay, I overstepped with that. I'm sorry.
I hope your boy Ken is listening. Because he's like, what?
No.
Motherfucker.
But he... the offense still runs well with that guy.
Sure. But that's the problem with the Ravens.
They don't unleash. They don't. Jackson has to unleash himself. It's not like the Ravens really work to make that. They do.
Well,
they don't let him. They don't put pieces around him anyway.
To me, that's the real problem.
Yeah. So
they don't give him enough pieces.
We can't get to see him really flourish.
Either way, I think he's going to get his money.
They're still going to win the division
or not. Yeah. And then finally, the Washington Commanders, the team that just can't seem to do anything right. The president of the team, Jason Wright, has thrown all of his toys on the floor, threatening to restrict local reporters' access to the team after what he claimed was an unprofessional Carson Wentz interview. Okay? Search for it. Watch the clip for yourself and make up your own mind. Okay. I happen to think that this dude, his name is Scott Abram. Mm-hmm. He's from the local Washington ABC Channel 7. He asked difficult questions, but in my opinion, they were fair questions.
Okay.
He asked about the accuracy issues that have already been widely reported out of camp. But I guess the wording of this one particular question is likely the one that Jason Wright kind of, got his nuts in a bunch.
Okay, what was this one?
He says, quote, "Real talk here, Carson."
Uh-oh.
You know that's a good, tough question's coming.
Yeah.
Real talk, bro. Real talk. It's been well documented. And then he did this with his hand. Like he brought his hand to Philly didn't want you. Indy didn't want you. Do you think this is your last chance to prove that you can be a starting quarterback in the NFL?
It's not even a tough question.
I mean, it is.
It's a softball question.
Right. It's also a fair question.
Yeah, it's a fair question, but it's a question that also gives you an out of doing the whole motivational coach speak type of answer.
Sure. The funny part about it is that Wentz actually handled the question quite well.
Of course, it's an easy question to answer. Okay.
He's all like, "Oh, I don't want to think of it that way," or "I don't put that kind of pressure on myself," or "I criticize myself more than anyone else," or "I just go out there and try to get better every day."
Oh, come on, yeah.
That's
the coach speak answer.
He handled it perfectly. But Jason Wright, getting all hot and bothered, took what was a very small local Washington Channel 7 story that nobody saw until he threw his toys on the floor, and then suddenly the clip went viral on Twitter. Stupid. So he just made the problem worse.
Shout out to the Commanders. Commanders!
Yeah, and know how to handle their business. Idiots. Is that it for the news? I guess.
Yeah, man. Let's go. We wanted to go through each conference before the season starts and give our thoughts. You said you had some questions for me or something like that.
I do.
And I got some answers for you.
I do. Let's see how far we can get. We're going to start in the NFC South.
Okay, let's do it.
Is that right? Are we starting in the NFC South?
Let's do it. I don't know.
Let's start in the NFC South.
Okay.
Why not? You
just want to do your team.
We'll get the best teams out of the way first.
This is the division I think I have the most questions about in the league.
Yeah. Well, besides who's going to win it.
I'm just like, it's the most question marks out there.
We start with the Panthers. Obvious question. Baker Mayfield. I mean, what's he going to look like in this division? What do you think?
I think Mayfield's going to make the team better.
Okay.
I think he's going to win the quarterback, quote unquote, the quarterback battle.
Sure.
But yeah, and he's going to come out super motivated. I don't know. I kind of like Baker Mayfield. I think his ceiling is what it is though. So he's not going to be the guy to turn a team around.
I have a raging hard on for week 1 against the Browns. I'm so hyped for this.
Yes.
Do you think Baker Mayfield is a true franchise quarterback for them, or do you think he's like a stopgap?
He's definitely a stopgap.
You think so?
I think they're waiting to see some juicy, shiny thing coming out of college. They're especially with the way their owner is, they're willing to jump at it. Even if somebody comes out in free agency, they're going to throw their hat in the bag. It's poor Baker too in that situation.
Sure.
Again,
he could probably turn into a journeyman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But he'll be a good journey. Like, if your quarterback gets injured, he'll be a good one to, he'd
be like the new Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, but a little better.
Like, with all that character.
And hopefully they can...
Funny white guy who can play football.
Yeah. And the league was trying to get behind him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He should grow a mustache.
On the commercials.
He's had a mustache.
He's got him.
Before,
He's got the big beard. He's got the full.
Does he have a beard now?
He's got the full beard. The whole thing.
I'm just kind of curious if I can't decide if this is going to go smoothly or if it's going to be a total shit show. I just can't figure it out.
I'm gonna say it's not. It's gonna be a smooth shit show.
Right.
I don't think it's gonna go super smooth. And
I mean, is there any chance that will go that any of it will go down quietly? Probably not. No.
But I don't think they're gonna be. No, they're not gonna be the best.
What do you think the chances are of Christian McCaffrey like actually completing the season?
0%.
0.
Yeah.
0%.
I'd say 7%.
Do you think? I thought what would be interesting to add into this conversation is I looked up the Vegas over-under win totals.
Ooh.
Vegas is saying the Carolina Panthers are 6.5 wins.
It seems like a really good guess by Vegas.
It seems like they don't know what they're going to do either.
I'm going to say they're under that. I'm going to say they win 6 games this year. Just under.
Okay.
A hair under.
Interesting.
What's next?
Atlanta Falcons.
Woof.
Maybe you've heard of them.
That's your squad. Atlanta Falcons.
I mean, I realize that we talk about tanking sometimes, and I know that nobody really does this on purpose. I mean, but there are sort of systematic kind of ways to
remove the talent from the team. Yeah.
Sure.
Start Mariota.
Do you think that's something?
I think the owner is not going to hold it against Arthur Smith if he has a bad season. It's not. They'll be like, we know.
The question is he desperate enough to want that high draft pick? Because
is Smith desperate enough? Or you mean blank?
Blank.
I mean, but here's the thing, though. You just had a high draft pick.
Right.
And then the year before that, you had a high draft pick.
Because here's the thing.
Is it working?
Because here's the thing. They had a high draft pick, and they took. Well, they were smart enough not to take a quarterback with that high draft pick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They took what they hope will be a wide receiver 1.
And before that, they took Pitts.
Right. In the third round, they took Desmond Ridder. But if they do wind up with a high draft pick this year. I mean, a lot of people are predicting they have the worst roster in football. If they are that bad, I mean, the door prize on the other end of this is C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. C.J. Stroud is Ohio State's quarterback. Bryce Young plays for Alabama. They are the presumptive 1-2 in next year's draft. I mean, they're both good. I've watched both of them play. Bryce Young couldn't beat the Bulldogs in the national championship game. I'm not sure if you heard about that. But
it's a bad sign when you're looking at the draft already in preseason.
But for sure. And I guess my question is, how bad does it look if you already went out and drafted a quarterback last year and then you're hoping to draft one next year? Now you got 3. I mean, of course, Mariota.
But this season will tell you a lot.
Yeah.
This will be a season where you learn what your team is. You learn if your coach is the real deal. That's what these seasons do. Because if the coach is able to put together some product every week with not much going on, you know you got the right coach.
Right.
So you just need the right coach, the right quarterback, and then you can possibly have a dynasty. So we'll see. This is a learning year, and they got $12 million in cap space, which is in a little bit towards the top of the league.
And they have click for next year.
For next year, $39 million.
Now they got a lot of money.
Okay.
Next year.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about Ridder is that I think he played well enough in his preseason game to where you have to assume that if Mariota is trash,
he's not going to be trash.
But or if let's say he gets hurt, or he just throws like a bucket load of picks.
Towards the end of the season,
you know what I mean?
Ridder has the whole.
They're going to put this kid in because he was good enough to be like, all right, well, let's see if he can handle it.
Yeah. And Mariota's a guy who can handle that too. He won't be a distraction on the bench.
Right. I'm hoping. I'm wondering. Do you think after what they did last year, do you think they will actually use Kyle Pitts more this year?
He's going to be a safety blanket no matter what. Yeah, they're going to use him.
Because I feel like they underused him last year.
Yeah. But now he's into the offense. That's another thing. You got this. Yeah, you could be building something if they stick with it.
Yeah.
The process.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Saints. Sean Payton. He gone.
He gone.
Alvin Kamara is, he's going to play, but he's still in legal trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck knows what's going on with Michael Thomas?
Oh, yeah.
Jameis Winston is Jameis Winston.
I forgot about Michael Thomas.
So my main question is this the year we see the comeback
of the Aints?
Of the Aints.
Could be, bro. Could be.
Because
the Sean Payton thing is the main thing.
Because baked into this question is another question, which is, can the defense save this team again? Because that's what happened last year, right? Yeah. And everyone assumes that the Saints are the second best team in this division because of their defense. It's despite their offense that they think that the Saints are going to be good. But can they do that 2 years in a row?
I think they can.
You think so?
Yeah, but Sean Payton is the big thing, man. We'll see, but it's not like he made that offense firing like crazy last year.
Although I did fail to mention
they lost their quarterback early.
Well, they do have Taysom Hill playing tight end this year, so there's that. He could be the X factor.
Yeah.
Right?
He's the best tight end in the division. So
they certainly play Carolina and Atlanta twice a year, so that's going to help them out.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% convinced.
I can't see how they're not the second best team in the division, though.
Yeah. But again, I've said this before. It's like being the skinniest kid at fat camp. You know what I mean? It's like, this is not a good division.
Yeah, it's a bad division.
Yeah.
Let's go to the main course.
To the main course in this division. Besides how bad it's going to hurt to see and hear Tom Brady TD pass to Julio Jones, my main question is, will this be Brady's last year?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah. I think he was going to leave last year in order to complete the tampering and become the whole, Dolphins
I think so
part
too.
owner or whatever,
yeah.
but it didn't work out.
They do have a very tough start to their season.
Yeah, man. I think the foregone conclusion that the Bucs are gonna win the NFC is a little premature.
Here's their start: Cowboys.
Oh, you can't count this stuff right now.
Cowboys, Saints, Packers, Chiefs, Falcons. How much are these people going to freak out when they start the season 0-5, especially when they lose to the Falcons? What do you think? You think it's just going to be like chaos?
5-0, man. What you just named. They're going to come out. Brady's going to look like the smartest man ever. They beat up on tomato cans his entire time in New England, and then he goes to the NFC South, which is in a transition right now.
Tom Brady stepping away from the team during the preseason for personal reasons. Big deal or no big deal?
No big deal.
No big deal.
He's got so much grace from everybody that it's like they know if anybody could turn it on, that guy can turn it on. He knows the offense.
I'm curious why he's leaving, but ultimately I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care that much. I think he's probably...
I'm only curious because it feels so mysterious and we don't get to know.
Was he in Mar-a-Lago?
He was part of the raid.
Yeah. He was hiding. He was hiding documents.
Maybe he went to get... Oh, they said... Bro. They said that Mar-a-Lago raid and the location of where those documents were was like there was somebody on the inside who tipped off, who was helping the FBI tell them like, yo, the safe is over here.
Maybe Brady took Trump down. Huh? Maybe he's the hero we needed and we didn't know it.
He's the man of the hour. Should the Bucs fans be worried about their offensive line? They lost some key players.
Yes.
Some trades, some retirements. We saw what Brady looked like without a shitty O-line in the playoffs. That did not look good.
Definitely should be worried about that, especially with Brady, who's looking more and more like Drew Bledsoe every year. Let's keep it going.
NFC North.
Yeah.
Vikings. New coach, Kevin O'Connell. Sean McVay disciple. Is he the Wonder Boy? And when it comes to Kirk Cousins, will he like that?
Well, he would not like what I'm about to say. I think that's Sean McVay shit, man. He just sneezed on somebody and they get ordained. I think the Vikings are
What I am curious about, though, is that, and I was reading about this yesterday. Kevin O'Connell, he comes over to be the head coach, but he also brought he was the offensive coordinator for the Rams last year, and he also brought one of his a wide receivers coach from the Rams, I think, or something. So the assumption is that he is going to try to bring the Rams passing game to the Vikings, and I mean, people like to dunk on Kirk Cousins. He's a lot better than
You like that? You like that?
He's better than most people give him credit for, and he has got a shitload of weapons.
I was gonna say they put the right offense around that receiving core.
This could go better than most people anticipate.
I can see that. I just I'm tired of this praise for these offensive coordinators coming from.
True. Also, the other thing about the Vikings, they were in like 15 one-score games last year.
Oh yeah,
remember that?
All they needed was a little boost, but they also had Mike Zimmer. They also had Mike Zimmer,
who was in the news this morning. You know who Mike Zimmer works for now?
Who?
Deion Sanders.
Oh really?
Yep.
Oh,
just saw it right before I came here.
Oh, look at him shaking up the college ranks. Look at Deion. I was gonna say he works for John Gruden over at the Fire.
I actually think the Vikings.
Okay, we'll see.
Who's
his DQ? Who's his DC?
I don't know. I don't
know. They can't just.
I don't know.
It's not like the Rams won the Super Bowl by just offense just running up the score.
But they did get my man, former Bulldog Lewis Seen back there covering the wide receivers, so that can't hurt. He's pretty good.
Next.
It's not my fault.
It's not your fault.
Bears.
The Bears.
Are the Bears the new Lions?
No, the Lions are still the Lions until further notice.
And by that, I mean, like, the way this team appears fully prepared to waste the career of what seems to be a very talented quarterback in Justin Fields.
I mean, that means the Bears are the Bears.
Right.
When have they developed a quarterback properly?
Yeah, it's been a while. Do you think Justin Fields, despite being on the Bears, will be able to make that year 2 leap, or?
I think he can make the year 2 leap. He seems like somebody. He seems like got a good head on his shoulders.
Or is it more likely that he puts the team on his shoulders and he gets injured?
I think he can make the leap. I hope he does.
I just feel like this team isn't even good enough for me to like decide if Justin Fields is a good quarterback.
We'll see.
You know what I mean?
We'll see. They're also, it's not that strong of a division.
But they do, again, they were very smart. I mean, they fired Matt Nagy, so it can only get better.
Yeah.
Right? They bring in Eberflus, who appears, by all accounts, ready to like put an offensive game plan in place that actually considers the skill set of his quarterback.
Yeah. But that could also stunt him a little bit because he's changing his offense. So,
right.
So I don't think we should expect too much from him right away.
Right.
But mid-season, we'll see what we're dealing with.
My last question about the Bears, does Aaron Rodgers still own them, and will he remind them again when they play this year?
Yes, he does, and he will.
Okay. Lions.
Part owner.
Lions. Yeah. Is this the best Hard Knocks ever, and why is the answer yes?
Yes, and because of Dan Campbell.
Side question, will Dan Campbell actually drown someone this year?
We're going to get up, and on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so will he actually drown someone? I don't know. If he does drown them, they'll be...
on a chain, a big-ass chain.
Again, this is another tanking-related question. If they can win more than 3 games this year, should they? Considering that they have Jared Goff as their quarterback.
Yes. I'm never a fan of losing on purpose.
I know you're not a fan of it. I'm just saying.
I'm saying. You do the best you can with what you have. Mm-hmm. If you really, really want those higher picks and you're 4th, then you can trade up, and it's easier to trade up if you...
Fair point.
It's like, do the best you can. See what you got.
What does success look like for the Lions? Because in my opinion, 3 wins, like more than 3 wins, that's too low of a bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think success is when they're playing meaningful games in December.
Okay.
Where they're trying to like maybe make the play. They're still in the hunt. If they're in the hunt in December, then they've exceeded expectations.
Aiden Hutchinson, real deal?
Or maybe
real deal?
Yeah, and that's like going for Hutchinson looks like the real deal. Yeah.
Real deal, or are his arms too short?
No, I didn't think his arms. No, to box with God.
Little dinosaur.
Yeah. I like Hard Knocks is focusing a lot on this guy.
Of course they are.
It's like
he's the hometown guy.
Yeah, that's true.
He's from there.
It makes sense. It goes in, but it's just like I don't want to see his sister again. It's like
that's true.
It's like come on, man.
But,
the whole family at camp.
The Lions. I think the Lions have a chance to be sneaky good. This Jamal Williams guy clearly
Swift. He saw Swift in the game.
Swift, bro. I mean, I didn't want to bring it up, but I mean,
golf out here. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't want to bring up my man, former Bulldog DeAndre Swift, but you brought it up. So DJ Chark. This rookie Jameson Williams, the receiver from Alabama. I don't know when he plans on playing, but if you throw him into the mix somewhere midway through the season and he's the real deal, that could be interesting.
I texted to you about this a little bit. My concern with the Lions is I do like the way he built this coaching staff with taking people that are experienced. They all have they're all former players and all of that. But he didn't get a mind, somebody known for their mind in play calling.
That's a good point. He got a bunch of guys that have like bucket loads of like heart and passion.
Right. But nothing cerebral.
But he needs someone who can like go into the laboratory.
He needs a Shanahan type.
A technician.
Or a McVay. You know what I'm saying? One of these, like, if he would have put one of those on the staff, I would believe in them more. But I think they're going to go as far as their will can take them, and they're going to need more than that. So he's going to have to make some change. And he seems like the type of guy that's not going to turn his back on his guys, and he's going to take them all down with, you know what I'm saying? He's going to go down with the ship as they keep losing because they don't have the thing to put them. He can't make that call.
So while he's being dragged out to the deep, dark abyss, and he starts to drown because all of his players are connected to him.
On a chain, a big-ass chain.
They will all kind of go down together.
I think so. It's going to be a tough decision that needs to be made. He needs to take Randall L. Maybe Randall L. isn't your offensive coordinator, man. Maybe he should have just been a position coach. And while these dudes are learning they're learning on the job how to really, you know what I mean? It could have been time to get that tried and true season, or at least as a consultant. Bring in like Crawford.
Man, that's an interesting take. I'd be interested to revisit that.
Yeah, man. We'll see. Or maybe the Randall L is the truth.
We'll see. Packers. Big question. Has to be, what happens to their pass attack minus Devontae Adams?
It's going to get worse, but maybe this time Rodgers won't just be focusing on them at the end of the game.
Because they got Allen Lazard.
Yeah.
Randall Cobb. Those are listed as their wide receiver ones, right?
Oh, really?
Yep. They picked up.
They lost,
also they picked up Teleport and Sammy Watkins, so that has to be good.
Really?
Yep.
I thought I saw him on another. Okay.
This rookie Romeo Dobbs looks pretty good in preseason.
I'm not worried about their passing attack. I am worried about them getting far, like overachieving, and then getting pushed out at the end. In the playoffs. I
mean, they still have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon running the rock.
But I think that's good. They're still best in the division.
Yeah. Side question. Will we ever get that Aaron Rodgers, Sammy Watkins podcast where they get mad deep and talk about the inner workings of the hidden universe? That's what I'm hoping for.
I think we're going to get that.
I kind of think they might have an offensive line problem. Bakhtiari is injured. He's not going to play. I think they have a few other injuries. This could be problematic in some ways.
I'm starting to believe in their coach more than I did last year.
Oh, I think he's good.
Yeah, LaFleur. So I think they'll be all right.
If they get off to a bad start, will Aaron Rodgers spike everyone's Gatorade with ayahuasca so that they can all play at an MVP level like him?
Yes. I think that if you have the best coach and quarterback in the division, you're not going to lose the division.
And ayahuasca in the Gatorade.
Then you're definitely going to win the Super Bowl.
I mean...
Or you're going to think you won.
So there's no way they lose this division? No way.
I'd be shocked if they lost the division.
Okay.
Who's going to take them down? Vikings?
I think the Vikings have a chance to be sneaky good this year.
Sneaky good is not winning the division.
No, but I mean, I think if they can fix that problem of being in one score, if they can turn some of those one score losses into wins, then suddenly they got like, I mean, what did they?
Wins.
They got 10 wins, 11 wins. I mean, it's like,
I don't know. Yeah,
you know?
Okay.
I don't know. I don't expect it to happen, but it's possible.
I think we could go ahead and mark off the package as division winners.
Sure. NFC East, let's go. Giants, new coach, Brian Daboll.
Brian, I thought it was a different Brian one. Okay.
Brian Daboll is known as the quarterback whisperer. He turned Josh Allen into a beast, but is whispering what's required to turn Daniel Jones into a real quarterback.
No. I think magic. Ayahuasca and Jesus. The combination of the three. I don't think Daniel Jones the answer. I watched him. I'm just not. Nah.
I agree. I don't think anything's going to work, and I think this is. I think DJ. This is last year, as a Giant.
Yeah.
Do you know that Daniel Jones has more sack fumbles than any quarterback in his 3-year career?
No, I did not know that.
He had 18 sack fumbles in his rookie year, 11 in 2020.
Wow.
7 in 2021. So that's, he's improving.
How many stumbles?
I mean, they may be trying to get Bryce Young next year as well.
Yeah.
They could play their backup. Do you know who their backup is?
No. Wasn't it like, I want to say Taylor. No, not Tyrod Taylor. Where was he at?
Their backup is
the Giants. Why are you on the Bills?
I don't know why I went to the Bills. You know why? Because I was thinking of thinking of Daboll. He used to be with the. Oh shit! It's Tyrod Taylor.
Damn, is it? Damn, I'm good at this shit, man.
They can't put him in.
No,
he's the unluckiest quarterback on the face of the planet.
He's gonna.
No, they're gonna kill him. That's the only thing that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
He's lost his job to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
At the Browns.
Before that, with Buffalo.
He lost his job in Buffalo after taking them to the playoffs for the first time in like almost 20 years.
But there's a connection there with Daboll.
That's true.
It might be.
And then, of course, he got stabbed in the lung and lost his job to Justin Herbert. And that was... They're going to kill that.
For LA.
They're going to kill that motherfucker.
What else we got?
Commanders. Is this the beginning of the Carson Wentz revenge tour or the beginning of the end?
Beginning of the end.
Beginning of the end.
Yeah, I think Wentz might. And I was a fan of Wentz, man. He carried my fantasy team to a championship one year. And it was him and Deshaun Watson. I was like switching them out, and they were killing it. And that was it. That was his last glory.
I will say this. I'm here for it. Eagles twice at the Colts. It's going to be fun as hell to watch. But
Why
yeah.
Did you say twice?
Well, they're in the same division now.
What?
They're playing the Eagles twice. The Commanders play the Eagles twice.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Eagles twice. And
they get to play the Eagles twice, and they're going to play at the Colts.
Okay.
And that's like
this is a
fun as
revenge
hell.
tour.
Yeah. So the revenge tour, it can be both at the same time. It'll be a failing revenge tour. Other questions. Will Dan Snyder run the team this year from his $200 million yacht?
Yes.
Yes. Side question. Will his wife have him killed? I mean, he's literally a captive audience in open waters. He's a sitting duck. Hell, I'd do it for her. For humanity.
I don't think
at a discount, not for free, but I would do it.
We can't remove guilt from her. She's in on this shit too.
True. But I'm just saying.
I shouldn't say that.
I'd be willing to help her out. Call me, girl. I'll help you. Can this defense return to form? I have not heard any good news about Chase Young. I think he's still struggling to recover from the knee injury he had last year.
Oh, shit. I think Ron Rivera is just Ron Rivera, man. He's going to get you a decent team. He's going to maximize what you got. So
I'm wondering if Ron Rivera is going to snap this year, considering if the reports are true that Wentz is basically uncoachable.
He might snap, but I don't think he'll hesitate in pulling him out of the game. He's like he did Haskins.
We got some Taylor Heineke coming our way then, huh?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
He was fun to watch.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. I like Heineke.
I thought Heineke was fun. Eagles. I would say that they legit stole the draft this year.
Yeah.
And
we'll see.
Unlike the Jets, who also were argued to have stolen the draft, I actually think that the Eagles, this might actually matter. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, whatever. They're Bulldogs. Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean. I mean, seriously, go ahead, fuck around and find out what's going to happen this year. I mean, honestly, the preseason hype is huge, but can they win the division?
I'm just thinking that, man. I got a little hype when you said that. They might win a division. This is going to be a tough one to decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's won this division 2 years in a row in like over a decade.
Really?
I looked that up not long ago.
Okay. This will be a fun division to watch.
How many soundboard-worthy moments will we get from Coach Sirianni this year? And will there be enough water?
Each individual coach, each individual player, everybody in the building.
Will there be enough water for all the flowers, to get their water for everyone, everyone in the building? I don't know.
I don't know, man. I'm still not. It's hard to not believe in him anymore. We talked shit about him, but that was his debut year.
The thing that I like about Sirianni, he did what he was able to do, what I think Cliff Kingsbury is not able to do, which is adjust. Right?
Yep.
They played half the year struggling to sort of understand the pieces that they have and how to design the offense around their assets.
Yeah.
And when from 1 week to the next, he flipped it and everything changed.
Yep. That's true.
Kingsbury is the opposite.
Yep.
He's like, I'm going to do things my way. And then when it all starts to fall apart, he's like, let's keep doing it my way.
Yep. So true. And he got a rewarder for it too.
I think Hurts could explode this year. I really think that he's a good quarterback. I think that if they are able to continue doing this year what they did in the second half of last year, this team is going to be a problem for a lot of people.
They might win that division, bro. You got me hype.
Cowboys. What are the odds on first coach fired, and why is it Mike McCarthy?
Yeah.
And will he get fired in season? It's either him or Matt Rule. Those are the only two that I can see it happening to.
I don't think he gets fired in season. Jerry Jones doesn't do it, operate like that.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
I think Carolina, Tepper is more likely to go,
balls.
off with your head.
Balls.
I'm gonna hit you with my brass balls. The media is grapefruiting the hell out of CeeDee Lamb. Trying to pretend like it doesn't even matter that Amari Cooper left for nothing.
Exactly.
For absolutely nothing.
Shout out to Jerry Jones.
But will he prove to be a true number one, do you think?
No.
That's real talk right there.
No,
that's straight up no.
No.
How about will the Cowboys ever admit that Tony Pollard is actually better than Zeke Elliott at the moment? Or is that too embarrassing to say out loud?
All of this stuff is all Jerry Jones, man. It's all ego. You spent all that money on him. You got to act like it's the truth.
Do you think this defense will actually be considered that good if they don't manage to get as many interceptions as they got last year?
I think people are going to know that defense carries that team, man.
But because in my opinion, I think the defense was in some ways slightly overrated due to the number of interceptions that they got. Because it made it easy to overlook how bad they were at pass protection. When you really looked at the numbers, they got a lot of interceptions, but they also gave up a shitload of yards in the process.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I think, that's a good question. But the one thing about them is they got a stud on every layer of the defense, every level.
True. And Dan Campbell does appear to be a good, not Dan Campbell, what am I talking about? Why did I forget his name? Former Falcons coach. Dan Quinn. I know I was close. Dan.
Quimble.
He's in the Dan. But for a team like this, right? The team, that every offseason everyone thinks is like the greatest team in the world.
Greatest and worst, yeah.
What does success look like for a team like this? And is there anything short of winning a Super Bowl that keeps McCarthy his job?
I can't find him.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
That's what it's going to be, playoffs. They got to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, but they got to the playoffs last year, and they absolutely embarrassed themselves.
They got to win a game in the playoffs. That's going to be the mark. Win a game in the playoffs, get to the division round.
And if Sean Payton suddenly becomes available, you think he still keeps his job?
No, if Payton is available, most teams will dump their coach for Payton.
Right.
So,
also, side note, will we get a in-season Jerry Jones illegitimate daughter update?
Oh, that'd be great.
I say fuck in-season Hard Knocks. I want to know what's going on with this shit.
Yes.
Because I have been every couple weeks, I Google that shit. And it's like nothing new has come up in forever. I hate it. It's annoying. All right. Last division in the NFC West, Cardinals. Oh my God, Mr. Kingsbury, how high is your cliff, and will we see him fall from it this year?
Yes, but he's going to keep his job.
Think so?
Yeah, they just extended him.
I mean,
I think the same thing's going to happen. That's been happening. I do not believe in the Cardinals. They scared the shit out of us, but then they ultimately lost the division.
I actually think the opposite will happen this year. His midseason unraveling is well documented, right? But this year, I think the trend will reverse itself. Remember, they're starting the year without D-Hop.
Yep.
So they're going to be shit for the first 7 games, and then
he's going to have to adjust.
And then they'll start winning down the stretch. Don't you think?
We'll see. They might. I don't think they'll be shit without him.
Because in his absence, for wideouts,
that's true.
They got Rondale Moore.
He went down last year and they fell apart.
Exactly. They got Rondale Moore, Hollywood Brown, again, Bulldog, AJ Green. Not a big deal. Is that really? Is that enough?
Stop it with the AJ Green, man. Jeez. I don't think it's enough. I think they're going to.
AJ Green for comeback player of the year. Let's
go. They're going to limp through the entire season.
Yeah.
But it all depends on how much what's his name? Kyler Murray studies.
That was actually my next question. Will Kyler Murray do enough homework to become a real boy?
That's so fucked up, man.
Do you think you know how sometimes we get these players, they get the big contract and you can see the pressure hits them and you think he might be one of those guys?
He seems like a pressure bust pipe type of guy. Like it's not going to be good for him. But we'll see. It might be this next generation, man. They might just be weak and soft.
Could be.
We'll see. He needs a good masseuse.
Seahawks. I got nothing.
That's the biggest question mark for me, maybe.
Is this even a real football team?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It feels like they lost so much like heart and soul with Russell Wilson, and I don't know, man. The heart and soul before him was Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, they lost Bobby Wagner too.
Oh yeah, Wagner's gone. Like
as far as a heart
you should
and
ask
soul
a question
guy.
About his gum, like Pete Carroll's gum. Will it survive?
I just think it's kind of sad to watch this, very respectable coach refuse to admit that they're in the middle of a rebuild.
Yeah,
like that to me is
fans don't want to hear that shit.
True.
You can't say we're in a rebuild. The team don't want to hear that shit either. You can't say that. What coach has ever said that?
Is it time for Pete Carroll to go, or?
I would never turn my back on Pete Carroll, man.
I wouldn't either.
He's given a lot to that organization.
I feel really bad actually because I happen to really like Seattle as a place, and I really like Seattle as a team, and
12 man, all of that shit.
And I like Seattle fans. I've never had beef with any kind of Seattle fans. I like them, but I'm worried about y'all.
I'm worried about them too.
I'm worried about y'all.
I feel the same way. They're not gonna win that division.
No.
It's the toughest division in football.
Right. 49ers. Trey Lance. He's the other dude that everyone's busting out the grapefruits for week 1 of preseason. He can throw a nice deep ball. Yes.
Saw that.
But what does he look like when he has to play more than 2 drives?
We'll see. I'm not buying stock yet. I think it's cool to see. I'm hoping he does well.
If this doesn't work out, do we still have to pretend that Kyle Shanahan is a genius?
Yes, that's part of our deal as football fans. We all have to just pretend he's a genius.
Because I'm not down with that.
I'm not down with it either. We'll see. But if it does work out, Like if it does work out, if he does do that, and he lost his stellar defensive coordinator last year,
I'm still not going to call him a genius.
No, I won't either.
What the hell is going to happen with Jimmy G and that $25 million salary? Are they really going to? It doesn't seem like anyone's willing to bite on this.
They're going to have to eat that,
and they're going to have to eat it, and he's going to play backup. But will that be problematic? Like, because now you're going to be in a situation.
Maybe they cut him.
You're going to cut him and pay him $25 million?
If it's going to be a problem in the locker room.
Because I personally think that, now this is a different team, but I personally think that, like, say Tua, for instance, I think that keeping Fitzpatrick around, I think that was a mistake. You throw him in the deep end, sink or swim. I think that's the way to develop a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, but I think their main focus, as we learned, was not about developing a quarterback. It was about winning games. So they kept Fitzpatrick around.
That's an interesting point. But I'm saying that,
if we're only talking about developing the quarterback,
sure,
yeah, you get rid of Jimmy G. But if you're talking about winning games and Trey Lance might get hurt or something, it's good to have that stability there, especially if you might have to eat that $25 million. But if it's a cancer in the locker room, which Fitzpatrick wasn't in that situation, he was willing to be the best teammate he could be.
There does appear to be a bit of a Jimmy G slander tour going on at the moment. I don't know if you heard this, but there's been stories kind of leaking out the last couple of days about the last time Jimmy G signed his big contract. Like he just disappeared and ghosted the 49ers. Like he wouldn't answer their phone calls. Like he signed the deal, he didn't talk to them. Like there's all these weird stories that are leaking out, and
timing.
And in all honesty, it's timing that matters to me more than the actual details of the story. Because that's how we go deep, brother.
Yeah, man, we dig deep,
man. We go beyond the headlines.
Yeah, beyond the headlines.
I'm wondering if this team is still going to be a top 5 defense, because I think that the 49ers, in a way, can be a little like the Saints in that the offense can be slightly dysfunctional, but if you have a defense that good, you can still get somewhere.
I think they're always going to have a good defense, man.
They do seem to always have a good defense.
Got to give it to Shanahan, man, letting his coordinators do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, his defensive coordinators do what they do. Offensively, he's kind of not letting you do shit.
Fuck that guy. Will the Debo Swiss Army knife strategy work 2 years in a row?
Nope.
Or will teams start to scheme for that shit?
They're scheming. But he's probably going to have a little trinkets and stuff to work on that. Plus, Debo already said he didn't want to do that shit. Right? Didn't he say he didn't want to keep doing that Swiss Army shit?
I think he said that he never really said that that's what people were just assuming. He was like, he says I'll do anything to win, but we'll see. I don't know.
Oh, good.
But luckily, everyone's busting out the grapefruits for Brandon Ayuk, saying, oh, he's making the big leap. This rookie, Danny Gray, looks pretty good.
Yes, he did.
I like him. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
They always manage,
that division, man.
I do tend to doubt this team every year. And they always seem to manage to get somewhere. It's weird.
It's also the NFC.
That too.
But they come out of that division always ready to roll, man.
Mm-hmm. I think it's that they manage to stay more consistent than the other teams.
Yeah.
Right? The other teams are like this roller coaster.
And you got to give credit to Shanahan, who we shit on, but,
All right, last team in the NFC, Rams. There's really only one question. They got mad talent. They picked up Allen Robinson to replace OBJ. Still got Aaron Donald.
They're in the strip clubs just throwing money around.
Still got Cooper Kupp. They picked up Bobby Wagner.
Yep.
Secondary is still tight.
They living off credit, man. So LA. Right?
Yeah.
Just living off credit.
But the question is, can they run it back, do you think?
Rams. Yes.
You think so?
Yeah. They got the coach. They got the quarterback. They got the defense.
Do you think OBJ comes back, or do they just not need him? I kind of think maybe they don't need him.
You can't have enough, man. If you can get him, they're the one team that'll go pay for it. And he could probably get on a discount. They probably, he'll probably give him a good discount too.
Should we be worried about my man, former Bulldog Matthew Stafford, and his tennis elbow issue?
No.
They've been talking about it like it's some kind of a weird, mysterious injury that they can't figure out how to treat the pain.
They've been talking about it because it's the preseason.
But then they say, it's all good. It's nothing to worry about. Stafford's tough as nails. They keep bringing up this thing. Remember the time that he knocked his shoulder got dislocated, in a game with the Lions, and he was like, and then it got down. He was like, I can play, and he went out and played anyway. Tough as nails.
He's
or dumb as fuck. He's
both.
He's from the South. You know?
I'm just gonna say, don't worry about Stafford.
Don't worry about Stafford.
Yeah.
And also, do we continue to see oh my God, Stafford was good. He was just played for a bad team all those years. Or is there some regression with Stafford? Could there be like
he's like in his peak right now, right? Oh, he's coming.
Yeah, but he still had a lot of those moments where it was like, oh, that was Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford right there. Like,
I think
no?
He won't be the reason they lose games. I think you got a good quarterback right there. That's solid in the position. He's still a top 15 quarterback in the league, right?
Sure.
So,
I mean, I don't know if they'll win back-to-back Super Bowls. But
it's tough as shit to do.
But they have a damn good chance to get back, right? Because their division is not good.
All right.
Trey Lance is a huge question mark.
NFC.
Cardinals are in turmoil. Seahawks are trash. And the rest of the NFC, other than the Bucks, which team would you actually bet money on to beat the Rams on any given Sunday?
None. Especially a playoff game. And they still have Aaron motherfucking Donald. And they're the team that, just like we talked about the Cowboys, that has one stud at every layer of the defense.
Yeah, they got Bobby Wagner.
Damn, they got Wagner too, huh?
They got Bobby Wagner. They still got my man, former Bulldog Leonard Floyd. They got Jalen Ramsey.
Yep. And they got the best defensive player in the league, Aaron Donald.
My only concern is worry about both of their top running backs appear to be injured again.
It's preseason, man.
But that is,
a running back. That's be all right.
We can go pick one up.
Yeah,
I think Todd Gurley's available. You can go get him again.
Pass.
You want to try that again, or are you just not gonna want that?
You're not gonna want that. I miss my chance on that. Yeah.
That is the NFC.
Nice. We'll do the AFC next week. That was fun. I feel like I'm almost ready to make our decision when we decide who wins the division.
I just thought this would be a slightly more interesting way to approach kind of putting our toe into the water, getting ready to make our division bet, also getting ready to sort of set some of our expectations is to, like, I usually go into any kind of issue or thing with a lot of questions. And I think asking questions helps you. It works in real life too, by the way. It doesn't just work in football. Like sometimes if you just don't know shit, you could just ask a fucking question instead of pretending like you know everything.
Or pretending like you're your agent.
Right. Roquan. What the fuck is Roquan? I cannot wait to hear part 2 of the Roquan Smith story. Or actually, that was part 2. This would be part 1 is like trade me right fucking now. Part 2 is like, who the fuck is this motherfucker calling around? Part 3 is going to be like, it's Donald Trump.
That's hilarious. All right, man. Well, thanks for checking this episode out. A little longer episode of SveNFL today, but it was worth it. We'll be back next week to break down the AFC and to talk about whatever's gone down, some preseason action and all that stuff. So stay tuned for that. It's been Jonathan Rollins.
And Schif Musara.
And we'll catch y'all next time. Bye.
Later, y'all.